Peter, thanks for joining us. Do you think Greenland is suddenly a trade lever or just the latest prop in a much bigger power play?
Well, I think this is an important moment because so far European leaders have really tried to appease Trump with some success. You know, many of the tariffs have not gone into force. You know, Trump always seemed to be open to some kind of a deal, but it looks like in the minds of European leaders this time he has gone too far. It's absolutely fair for Trump to make an offer to buy Greenland. There's actually very solid arguments to maintain that Denmark isn't able to properly protect it. In Denmark, many people are actually in favor of allowing the Greenlanders to opt for independence. So it's not like some kind of a political taboo in Denmark to lose Greenland. And if Trump and the US would pay a fair price, I'm sure they would be open to it. But to threaten military action is actually against a very loyal NATO ally is something seen as completely unacceptable, and European leaders are now indeed floating the option of, the list of 93 billion euro tariffs. That was already unveiled last year, but that was ultimately not used after Trump conceded.
And Peter, you're bringing up a number of political tensions here, and very interesting. The first question I have after this is, how shocked is Brussels really then by tariffs and the conflict tied to Greenland?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can expect anything from Trump, but, you know, to be fair, in many occasions she's actually quite careful. For example, if you look at Iran, if you look at sort of the tariff wars, you know, he's always open to a deal. He seems to be knowing where to go, but then to threaten to not exclude military action, that was really shocking. There's maybe an optimistic reading to the latest, whereby Trump was no longer explicitly threatening with military action. At least some French diplomats were quoted as saying that this is some kind of progress, that now he's only threatening with tariffs, no longer with military action, and also because this is opposed by almost 90% of Americans. I think also within the Republican Party, this has not gone down well, and it may be seen as a wake-up call also in the Republican Party that it's important to to make sure the American president doesn't go in that direction.
Peter, I'd like to go a little bit deeper, because I'd like to get your impression on what this really is about. Yeah, do you think, or is Brussels feeling that this is really about how much the US can actually go in terms of politics with Brussels and with the EU?
Well, yeah, there's two things. There's incomprehension why Trump is doing this just at the very moment when it's seen as incredibly important for the West to stick together in the face of the challenge in Ukraine, and then you can have many different approaches on how to handle that, but at least there should be a consensus, people think, not just in Brussels, across Europe, that Europe and the US are united on the issue, and that is really frustrating many people. Why this absolutely needless crisis, and then more going forward, yeah, the question is, okay, how do we solve this now? Because there's a realization that if the EU ratchets up tariffs, that you may actually end up in in a real trade war, which will obviously damage both sides very badly.
I get it. Peter Cleppe, thank you for your insights.